Good morning. Okay, so let's kick things off with my low, my high, my act of kindness. For my low, who am I kidding? My low is the fact that I got up super late this morning, later than I would have liked to. I mean, it's not really that big a deal. It's just I would have liked to have done some cleaning around here before I head out for the day, especially when after I leave here, I'm immediately going to have to calculate the opportunity I get. So, yeah, I'll have some work to do after I make this video. That's to be sure. But yesterday, my high is I got to see my nephews yesterday. Got to spend time with my folks yesterday. We had dinner, and that was all wonderful. My act of kindness was I actually prepared the dinner. I made salad. So, I helped make salad. And obviously, I put some, clear the table and stuff after dinner was over. That was my act of kindness. So, let's begin with yesterday's episode of Hot Ones because I actually did learn a lot from Kevin Bacon. Good morning and happy Friday, everyone. It is Friday. I should also probably mention, normally I would get Rita's today, but since I'm heading up to the lake, the first chance I get, I went yesterday. So, took care of Rita's, that's all taken care of. Although I probably just made going to Rita's seem like it's a chore, but it's really not. I love going to Rita's. Where was I? Right, I was talking about Hot Ones. So, if no one saw yesterday's episode of Hot Ones, it featured Kevin Bacon. And I mentioned how yesterday my fondest memory of Kevin Bacon is the fact that, he was in that one commercial where, he's disguised as a Kevin Bacon superfan, which is funny. It was actually for the Logitech for Google TV, I believe, which, honestly, I'm kind of surprised, we don't see any more of that. Actually, it's really cool. I guess shifts in technology, which actually does, I say shifts in technology, we start off with something, what looks cool at one point will eventually either be not as cool or completely made out of date by the time, the new thing rolls around. And it brings me to a little bit of what they talked about in yesterday's episode of Hot Ones. Because Kevin Bacon's career spans 40 years. Not 40. And when he first started out, box office was everything. If you were a box office hit, you were a made movie. You were a part of something that was truly spectacular, extraordinary. But over the years, you've had stuff cassette, video, DVD, streaming. Basically, as time's gone on, you went from, watching something on the big screen to making it much more easily accessible to watch in your own home, to even easier to watch your home via, the internet and streaming. And now, whenever there's a new release, you have several different options with which to go about seeing it if they're available to you. Nowadays, some movies are only released in the theater. Nowadays, some movies are only released on streaming. Sometimes it's on both. And they were talking about how Kevin Bacon has had a career of that long, and he's been through all of that. But here's where I stand on this. Because this is actually, because Kevin Bacon actually said this perfectly himself, and honestly, this is how I feel too. I really never thought of them as quote unquote shifts. To me, they were just something that happened. Like, I was born in, well, December 28th, 1989, but I grew up in the 90s where, video cassettes were, the thing to go get. That's why you had stuff like, Blockbuster, because that was your means of, finding really good entertainment that was readily available. I mean, being able to watch stuff at home at that time was not remotely anything new. I mean, before I was born, if a movie was released in theaters, it was like bare minimum 6 months before you heard anything about it being on, video so you could, watch it home whenever you want. I mean, the quickest sort of turnaround I believe that existed were Disney movies, but let's be honest, it's Disney. They would have the money to make it happen as soon as possible. Plus, again, it's Disney. It is a household name. Everybody loves Disney, whether you realize it or not. So, if anything, you were going to get Disney movies a lot quicker than you even thought you would. My point is, now you get a new release and within maybe a week and a half, you're going to find it on streaming. And it's crazy. But I never really thought of it as like, a giant shift. To me, again, it's just something that happened. I don't know. Maybe I'm just old-fashioned like that. Maybe I'm not reading enough into it. Or maybe some people are reading too much into it. But either way, no matter what, movies have existed long before I was around. I will probably see hundreds, if not thousands, of movies myself throughout the course of my lifetime. And they're going to continue being made long after I'm gone. So, I don't think you got to worry about that. Well, I don't need to worry about that. Right, what else did they talk about? They talked about when they were filming Apollo 13, where it's actually a really cool thing that you can do. You can fly a plane really high up in the air, shoot down, and you can sort of float like you do in gravity. And Spielberg actually suggested that when they're quote unquote filming in space, it's basically them doing the plane dive stuff or whatever, so it makes them look like they're floating. And Kevin Bacon mentioned how much he hated doing that because, for lack of a better word, you would have spent several hours up in the air just to make sure you get those really good shots you need for your movie to work. I thought that's really cool. They talked about how when he was preparing to do Footloose, he actually disguised himself as a student to try and see okay, this is how people act. I should probably do it. Basically, he was essentially doing crazy levels of method acting to make sure, okay, I can do this right, and there you go. We got something good here. Although he even mentioned how, after he spent time with his kids, oh, thank God the crew is here. People I can actually associate with now. I don't know. I thought that part was really funny. I should probably also mention Kevin Bacon did a really good job holding his spice together. I mean, yeah, the bomb got him, but it's the bomb. They got everybody. Up until he got to the bomb, though, he was doing great. Pretty much from 1 through 7, he barely even flinched. So, kudos to him. But then again, he also mentioned how, for breakfast, he has, mango with a little bit of cayenne pepper on it, which I did not know that was a thing. Now I kind of want to try that now. I know I have cayenne pepper in my pantry. I need to get some mangoes. Mangoes. Sorry, I'm just reminded of uh, some friends of mine back in high school. Anyway, what else did they talk about? They talked about how Kevin Bacon worked as a like a waiter at this one really fancy uh, at this really fancy place in California for a little while as he was trying to, get his big break. That was really cool. But I forget the name of where he worked because it's supposed to be like I get the feeling when I hear it, I mean, like that's what it was. But it was the kind of place where, like, the staff wasn't like the snootiest of the snooty, but comparatively, Kevin Bacon himself, when he worked there, was like the nicest guy and possibly, and therefore, least snooty one there, if that makes any sense. I mean, some places are straight up snooty as all get out, but that wasn't Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon's awesome, if you can already tell. That's really about all I can think of off the top of my head that I saw that really, impacted me. But it really does go to show. But again, the takeaway from that episode, at least for me, was, again, the quote unquote shifts that have come about in the last 40 plus years in the realm of entertainment. I think the question that some people would probably get the wrong way from is, again, do you really feel like what is the future of cinema? Like, what is the future of movie-going entertainment? And it should be pretty obvious, first of all, no one is ever going to stop seeing movies. They're not. The instant that the moving picture was invented, it changed the way we look at entertainment forever. Simple as that. And it's been a change that has led to some of the greatest storytelling, characters, setting, narratives. Actually, I think narratives and storytelling are the same thing. But my point is, just the simple act of what's, for lack of a better analogy, just a bunch of pictures that are grouped so close together that when seen in one shot, it's one movement. Like, that astounded everyone when the concept was first made. And even now, you're going to get like little kids who will see, movies of any kind, and they're going to be like, wow, that's really cool. And they're going to want to see more. And whether you're watching them on the big screen or just watching them on your TV, maybe it's on watching reruns maybe, or on your laptop or tablet or any sort of streaming device, people are going to find ways to be entertained via watching a movie or even just movie quotes. Seriously, one thing I like to do in terms of when I watch YouTube videos, I just think of a scene from a movie I really like, type that in, just watch that. Because that's the scene that impacts me. And that's another thing. If you see a movie scene or a scene from any show that truly impacts you, you'll find ways to watch it over and over and over again. And that's actually another thing they talk about how once too, now I'm thinking about it. And that's like a lot of big name celebrities and actors, even Kevin Bacon himself, I forget what show he's on right now, but they're shying away from doing movies to being on TV, which at that point was unheard of because movie stars are obviously paid more than television stars. But it just goes to show entertainment's entertainment. People are going to find ways to see you and watch you and know you, and they'll get satisfied from it. I mean, let's say for a really, really weak example, it's me. Like, yeah, I'm making videos every single day doing this. And for whatever reason, I move on to, being on TV or being in a movie, for instance. Someone's going to be entertained by the fact I'm there. And they'll find a way to go watch it. Again, someone. Using me as a really weak example, I'll admit that. But at least I can acknowledge that. Seriously, some people have such huge egos that's like, it borderlines what Darkwing Duck wanted, Where he really, he was a superhero, but, he really did want, I'd say about like 60% superhero, 40% fame, roughly. I don't know. But whether you're just a lowly guy like me who barely has any fans at all, or a big name celebrity like Kevin Bacon, good entertainment's good entertainment. Simple as that. Like, favorite, share, subscribe button, follow me on the social platforms, YouTube. I'm very humble. This video for you guys are watching Joe for today. Hopefully a wonderful, wonderful Friday. And remember, if you want to talk or challenge, be here to learn and always have your back. Take care and make good choices. Have a nice day.